What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Pete and myself, and we're going to be talking about the effects of parenting on a student's success in high school.
Well, that was the original idea, but after our interview, we decided to change our topic based on response.
Our original idea for this podcast was to talk about the effects of parenting on students, especially Asian students. However, as we went through our interviews, we discovered that parents had little to no contribution to the success of our peers. Instead, they were self-motivated and pushed themselves to do well in school. The topic of the interview changed from effects of parenting on students to what truly motivates students.
We first interviewed a junior named Andrew Zhang. He is currently the president of Key Club, a volunteer-based club, and has achieved a score of 2400 on the SATs.
All right, the first question, Andrew. Did you feel pressured by your parents to succeed in school?
I personally think that it wasn't as much pressure as just them putting me in a bunch of programs and generally expecting me to do well. But there hasn't been much in terms of pressure or anything negative.
What kind of programs did you have to go through?
There weren't specific ones, but as a kid, my mom taught me math and math, reading, a bunch of Mandarin and other stuff science outside of school to supplement my school career, I guess, but it wasn't as much pressure as it was just extra knowledge.
What was your main motivation to succeed in high school?
My main motivation to succeed, in the beginning, it was kind of just, I thought it would be all my grades would be on my permanent record, and that was kind of daunting. I'm not as pressured to do well, and it's contributed to my grades slipping a little bit.
How strict are your parents when it comes to school?
They don't do your stereotypical Asian corporal punishment, but they do care a lot, and they will notice, and they'll try to help me in doing well in school.
So when you get a bad grade, what would they do?
If I get a bad grade, my parents will talk to me about it, and they'll try to convince me to get a good grade, and then my sister will verbally abuse me.
Are you motivated by your sister because she does all the AP classes and stuff?
That's kind of, I used to be, because I thought that I had to live up to the expectations and the standards set by my sister, and a lot of people would kind of when they met me for the first time, they'd come out with an impression that I would be like my sister, but not anymore.
What caused you to change to not be like your sister, just be your own person?
It was just joining a lot of new clubs and stuff, not academic clubs, school clubs, and making a lot of new friends that I realized that I didn't have to exactly do the same thing my sister did.
When you were stressed out by school and your parents, how did you handle the pressure?
I've kind of been constantly stressed out about school, but I try to, first of all, when I try to do well, and if I don't, then I used to just stress over it and try stay up late and just constantly stressed, but now I just accept it as it is, and I'm not too worried anymore.
How would you compare Asian standards with any other kind of standards?
Asian standards and parents in specific are definitely more focused on their children doing well in school due to the intense competition in Asia, but there's also a lot of variability. You can't say that every single Asian parent is the same. But as a trend, there's definitely more focus on academia, more focus on how your children are doing in school.
All right, Andrew, this is the last question. If you could give advice, one piece of advice or a couple pieces of advice to young Asian kids starting high school, what would it be?
If I could give one piece of advice to young Asian kids starting high school, it would be to start off a lot slower and not to try to push yourself too quickly into classes, because there's a large difference between middle school and high school, in that in middle school, if you're reasonably intelligent, you could do well, but in high school you actually have to put in some work. So it's good to start off with not the hardest curriculum and not take AP's freshman year like me.
As you can see, Andrew is a very self-motivated individual. But how does that compare with the study habits of other students?
We next decided to interview a diverse group of students. We wanted to see if we would get different responses from a group and if students shared similar work habits.
In our group of guest speakers, we have Alex White, Andrew Lowe, Jessica Wong, and Kiddo Kwong.
Alex is of American descent and is a very self-motivated student. Andrew's a Cal bound, and Jessica hopes to transfer from community college to UCs in the future. And we are not sure about Kadok.
Question number 1. Did you ever feel pressured by your parents to succeed in school?
I'm pretty sure like everyone's pretty much pressured to do well in school.
I put pressure on myself. Yeah, I do feel pressure to succeed in school, but
But like, do your parents like push you?
not so much. No, it's mostly myself.
What about you, Jessica?
Yeah, my parents put pressure on me, but I feel like over the years they've gotten less and less because they expect me to do it on myself.
What was your main motivation to do well in school?
I want to be able to do what I want to do someday, like choices.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, my main motivation is to have as many options as I can have in the future, and to explore all sorts of opportunities so that I can achieve that goal.
What's your main motivation to do well in school?
So that I can feel accomplished about myself.
What do you think, Kiddo?
Well, my parents have always told me that going to school means getting rich. So if I do well in school, I feel that I have more chance to become rich.
Not
Next
really.
question.
Kind of.
So how strict are your parents when it comes to school?
So, Kadok?
They don't really care what school I go to. As long as I graduate and go to a college. So
Like any college? Like, doesn't matter?
yeah, as long as I graduate, and go to college, they don't care.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, it's the same.
Like any college? Like, it doesn't matter what college?
No, I mean they just care
That I get a secondary education, really. I mean, and if they see that I'm struggling, maybe they'll ask about it. But I mean, they trust me to.
For Andrew, it has to be Ivy League.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, UC Berkeley.
Or Berkeley.
All right. So for those of you who did have your parents pressure you, how did you handle the stress of school and like being expected to do well?
I renting with friends, and my friends rented too, so it was, it helped me like handle the pressure because, I mean, it wasn't just me who was complaining; it was all my friends too.
What do you think?
Honestly, it wasn't all that bad. I just like didn't need to make stupid decisions.
Okay, confident, Mr.
What?
Genius. How do I handle stress?
Yeah, like what did you do?
I don't know. Break plates. Run.
Ooh.
I don't know.
All right. Jessica.
I used the internet as an outlet.
Are there any benefits living with Asian standards?
The rice is supremely good.
Oh my God. This is not.
Like there really isn't anything such as Asian standards because like
Yeah, there are.
there
are.
Here maybe because because a lot of people who come here are like immigrant families that like got really high education, but when you like go back there, it's not quite the same. It's a whole different country over there.
Yeah, because we're talking about like society in America.
Yeah. Well, Asians in America, the whole culture is different.
You tried, Andrew.
You tried. It didn't work out, man.
If you can give tips to future high school students to do well in high school, what would it be?
Don't procrastinate.
Do not procrastinate.
Yeah, do your homework.
It'll tell you. Literally.
Just know that no homework. If you don't do homework, you'll become homeless.
Yeah, that's my main motivation as well. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, and my mom will yell at me.
Make wise choices. Don't be stupid.
What kind of wise choices?
What kind of wise choice?
Look, you need to be able to look at everything objectively and not like blow off hours just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you play League.
What? I still got everything done.
All right, guys. Thanks for being in this podcast. All right. Okay.
Bye.
Personally was surprised at the independence our peers showed during the interview. I thought that parents would have played a bigger role in the success of their kids, but it appears that it is not the case.
Same here. I thought their parents would stress them more about school and their expectations of them. In the end, it was their own motivation to push themselves.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. This will be our first and last podcast.